Our fourth speaker will be one of our members, member board of directors in Nova Capital. He'll be speaking to us from Switzerland. And his paper is Mechanization of Potato Farming in a Challenging Environment, Cost-Benefit Analysis. And his name is Henry Eremodafe. And of course, the fifth speaker is not here with us. So we are going to go into the sixth speaker. He said his paper is titled Process Technology as a Panacea to Subsistence Approach in the Production of Potato and Other Root Crops in Plateau State. He's one of our resource fellows that is based in Germany. His name is Ulf Zell, Managing Director, CEO of Zell and Company, Germany, and International Management Consultant. So immediately after the presentation of his paper, and then we have few discussion, and then we can now rise and go. So at this juncture, I want to stay pleased with you. Food will be distributed on your table while you are eating. Let the session begin. And our panel of discussants, please stand by, listening to the papers. I'm going to mention some of your names and, of course, the session you are going to participate. Although we wrote to you people, I'm sure you have correspondence, but whereby you don't have it, I'm going to bring my computer and then read it again, so that we know where to start from. So, technical people, are you ready? And please, while they are, I want the officials of this hotel to off this light so that we can power here and everybody can see us very well. Please, officials of this hotel, if you are here, please want the light inside the hall off so that we can have a very clearer view, a very clean illumination of our presentation. Our musical artists, can you give us music on the background while we're arranging finishing touches to our arrangement?
Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon from Austria. Can you hear me? Hello, and good afternoon from Austria.
Yeah, right, too. Okay.
Can you hear me?
You're right, too.
Okay, before we usher Dr. Van Boos, Dr. Van Boos, please, can you start your video? In a moment, we are going to usher talk to us. But meanwhile, we have a representative of the Director, Department of Agriculture, Federal Minister of Agriculture, a representative. He is the regional director here. Mr. Sylvester Baye, please, can you come? It's the session. Can you please come here and take your seat, please? Mr. Baye, please. Please put your hand together for him. I'm very sorry, I never knew you were around. And of course, I wouldn't have jumped you at all. Okay, as chairman of session, can you please come and do your opening remark on behalf of Madam, and just 2 minutes so that we can usher in Dr. Van Boos from Austria to speak to us. So come here. Please put your hands together for our chairman of session.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is an occasion that will continue to live with us, the first of its kind. And we want to appreciate the government of Plateau State for supporting this project. I call it a project because not that we have not been doing anything, but we are here to further underscore why the projects we have embarked upon should be sustainable. I am here to represent the Director, Federal Department of Agriculture, of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture. She's supposed to be here, but because she has to stay back behind, the minister urgently wanted her to handle certain affairs of the ministry. So that's why she's not here. The value change, the potato value chain is under her supervision. So whatever the federal government has been doing with respect to intervention on the potato value chain program, she is the brain behind it. She's a very hardworking woman, and she's very interested in what the Plateau State government is doing. And of course, we are also looking forward to a situation through her support that potato will not only be limited to Plateau State. We want to see a possibility whereby we can even produce potato in neighboring states. And for us to do that, it involves a lot of research. And already, the Executive Secretary for Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria is coming from this state. So I believe we are going to receive the cooperation to ensure that enough research is done so that not only Plateau State, but neighboring states that are close to Plateau can also begin to start thinking of how to even produce potato using other varieties that could be adaptable to neighboring states. As a matter of fact, we have had the first session, which we call the political session. I call it political session. What we want to do now is the technical session. But before we can go into technical aspect of this gathering, we must have the political directions. The political direction is we need to know what the government of the day, particularly at the state and federal level, intends for the sector and the subsector, so that without political will, we are nowhere. We will just be, busy. We'll be just busy doing nothing. So we need to have a political will if we want to succeed. When we are talking of how the farmers can succeed, there's nowhere in the world where agriculture is not subsidized. If anybody tells you that there shouldn't be any subsidy for agriculture, especially for this particular value chain, I think he will not be telling you the truth. In America, there is a lot of subsidy for for agricultural production. But the government of the day is encouraging us through indirect subsidy. Government does not give direct subsidy, but they encourage you, whatever machinery, whatever inputs, whatever equipment you need in order to ensure effective potato value chain production, the government is ready to support you. What government does is to ensure that whatever equipment we need are procured and made available to farmers at very low prices. So that why low prices is so that at the end, if you farmers are able to benefit, then whatever little amount we get from there, we can roll it back in order to ensure that more equipment are procured for farmers. So, ladies and gentlemen, like you have already heard, we don't have time for too much talk. What we need is to set the ball rolling. The technical speakers will come and they will make their presentation. Whatever you have to say, don't be afraid. If you don't understand anything, it is a time for you to say, this is what I want to see in the potato value change. With this, I will just make a pause here and allow the management to take further steps to see how we can accomplish the abridged version of the sessions. Otherwise, if we have to follow what we have set out, we won't be able to live here. For now, I say thank you for listening, and please pay attention for what the speakers will say.
Thank you very much. Can we appreciate him, please? Let's appreciate him. Let's appreciate him. And please, I want to urge all our panel of discussants to please come and occupy this front row. All our panel of discussants, please leave that seat, come and occupy the row there so that we can start, please. All our panel of discussants, please come down here. We have Dr. Manzo Megeri, if you are here. Falari Joseph, if you are here. Professor Ponchang Wujep, although he said he wants to do it from virtually. Thomas Mapshin, please, if you are here, could you please come over? Please come over to the front row. The representative of the DG of Raw Materials, Dr. Bularewa, please can you come? Anthony Dambaba, if you are here, come. Daniel Nenka, if you are here. Kefas, if you are here. Dr. Mrs. Kwempia Deshi, if you are here, please. I nearly called you a professor, even though you want me. Please, can you please come and occupy the front seat so that we can start off immediately? All of you that have called, those that have not called, please come to the front seat. Thank you for your patience. We appreciate you. We appreciate you, please. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. You guys are now the executive members that we have. You guys are the executive members that we have. Doc, come and join them here. Okay, is Dr. Vambus, is he ready? Okay, please, before I pleaded with the management of this hotel to please off these lights, please. Please off the light. I want to invite Ernest Ono, who is going to moderate this very session, to please come here and take his seat. Ernest, please. Put your hands together as he comes in. He flew all the way from Germany to be part of this program. Could you please put your hands together for him, please? I know we are hungry. Please put your hands together. Please. Okay? And so we are going to have virtual presentations first. So technical crew, could you please assist us by signaling if Dr. is around? Okay, please, Doctor, you are here. Can we see your video?
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, Doctor, good afternoon from Nigeria.
With my video, but now I'm here. My name is Franz Busse, and I welcome all excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, and all those who take part in this wonderful summit.
Turn on your camera, Doctor. Turn on.
Can you hear me?
We are here. See you. Turn on your camera.
Okay. So I would like much better to be with you now, but it's just not possible because of the conditions. They do not allow this, but I can just take a few minutes, not to prevent you from having your next lunch or whatever is in your timetable. let me say that Pöttinger is an Austrian family-owned company that contributes to a sustainable increase of effectiveness, efficiency, and quality in agricultural production, and that acts as a partner on whom its customers can rely. We are looking very much forward to the cooperation with a representative of our company in Nigeria, Mr. Ambi Okoje, who has initiated this outstanding summit. We are a specialist in grassland and tillage and seeding equipment. Just look at some pictures which I can show you. When we talk about tillage, you can see we do the whole range of tillage, and we are adapting our products to all areas. So of course also to potatoes, which we do together with Grimmel very often, and form a perfect value chain in production of potatoes. And because of rotation, we do also seed drills and grassland machines. We can create advantages for our customers with structural brand independent mounted, implement mounted or trade machinery, and the associated services.
Doctor, turn on your camera. We are not seeing you, doctor. Turn on your camera so that we can see you and your presentation.
But when you see, as long as you see my presentation, it's much more interesting and important than seeing the camera. So what I can show, after the overview of all my machines, which I can show you, which are suitable for many crops, not only potatoes and root crops, but also maize or other equipment. And here's some pictures of grass machines. Now I would like to take a few minutes of your time to show you a film. Let me try short video. Let me try if I can get it here. Sorry, it doesn't seem so that it works under the circumstances. So if not, we are happy to come the next possible opportunity, take the next possible opportunity in close cooperation with the administration on the one hand and with our representative on the other hand, and to contribute to better potatoes and to feed more people with this wonderful plant. Thank you very much, and looking forward to be with you next time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. von Bruze. I think the attendance of this very important event can reckon with Pöttinger to bring down the technology down here in Plateau State. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ernest Ono, as my big brother introduced me. We are from the diaspora in Germany, and our task, like Ambrose Okoje have done, is to try to impact the development pattern in agriculture down to our country so that the farmers will be what they are. That is people who feed the nation and through that create wealth and employment, especially for the massive youth we have here.
Okay, next presentation, please. Can we do this quickly, please? Who else is on the line? Okay, no. Please, let's do this quickly, please. Frank Nordman, please, are you ready? Hello, Frank Nordman, are you ready? Mr. Frank, are you hearing us? Okay, while we are waiting for them, I want to reel out the papers for discussion. Mr. Frank Nordman will be taking us on developing potato value chain and other root crops, the Europe example. In other words, this paper, like I did mention earlier on, will be able to teach us how Europe did their own to get to where they are. We want to learn from Europe, and Frank Nordman, who is a specialist in potato production, is no other person than that will do it for us. So I think our technical partner, our technical crew, please, if Frank is online, let me know. Then the next paper will be coming from Mr. Henry Eromodafe. He will be addressing us from Switzerland. And these are people who are supposed to be here live to make this presentation. But because of the last crisis we had in Plateau, and because of fear of security, they decided to stay back, and then, you know, we now have the option. And this is Mr. Eromodafe. If Mr. Eromodafe is online, please, we'll take his paper. And then, the title of his paper is Mechanization of Potato Farming in a Challenging Environment. Mechanization of potato farming in a challenging environment, cost-benefit analysis. And then the second paper, or the third paper, will be by Zell, Process Technology as a panacea to subsistence approach in the production of potato and other root crops in Plateau State. And immediately he takes this paper, we take our panel of discussion, we ask questions, and then before a communique is drawn. There are some people we designated as rapporteurs. I don't know if they are here. Our rapporteurs, are you here? If you are here, just wave me a hand. Our rapporteurs, if you are here, just wave a hand for us. Okay, if you are not here, we know what to do to draw up communique, you know, at the end of this very program. So, the technical crew, who is online? Who is ready, please? Okay. Mr. Romodafe, are you online?
Hi, Charles, can you hear me?
Okay, we are good to have you. Before you are the stakeholders in the potato value chain from across the country, and we have, you know, our lovely farmers from Plateau State who want to listen to you. We have our panel of discussions already seated, and we will be privileged to hear from you. Can you please take over your presentation?
Thank you.
And we want you to on your camera, please.
I'm going to share a slide so you wouldn't see my camera. So if you give me the opportunity to share my slide, I'll just share it. That's what they should be seeing on my face. Do you see my slide?
Yeah, we are seeing it. Go ahead.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you for the invitation and the opportunity to present this very short paper. I know it's been announced that the topic is related to mechanization of potato farming and cost-benefit analysis. I've tweaked it a bit based on the discussions I had with the MD of ABG, and I'm going to be focusing a bit more on how to finance this evolution of potato in the state. I've listened to the various speeches and presentations that have been made today, so I know you have a lot of information, so I'm not going to bore you with repeating how important potato is. You know it better than I do. Now, first of all, my name's Henry Rimodafe. I'm CEO of a company called Africa in Switzerland. So from the name, you would actually realize we are an organization that is focused on helping to drive innovation and investment towards economic empowerment of African countries. And being originally Nigerian myself, they say charity begins at home. So I hope we can add value to Nigeria as a country and to Plateau State specifically. I chose the title Potato, Plateau Gold. I don't want to overemphasize on the fact that what you have in terms of what God has given you, in terms of your land, in terms of where Plateau State is situated, is actually better than gold. The reason is gold is a mineral that is exhaustive, which means with time, you mine gold, it's finished, and then what do? So actually what you have in Plateau State is better than gold because God has given you land which is so rich and arable, and then he's giving you the perfect weather. I was in Plateau State about 24 months ago, and I was amazed at what I saw. And I'm like, wow, if this state would harness what God has given to you, you have what it takes to be the richest state in Nigeria. So I choose my words carefully. You have what it takes. Now, would you be the richest state in Nigeria by harnessing this natural resource which is unending that God has put in the state? So I thank ABG Paulus for giving me the opportunity, and I think this is a journey to collaborate with ABG Paulus and Plateau State to actually transform this God-given resource into wealth for the people of Plateau State. I have just one slide because I like to be very focused and direct when I do things. And that slide is this second slide that you are seeing now, okay? Now, what I just want to talk about with this slide, really, let me just put it up so you see the full thing. Yeah. Okay, so you see the full slide. What I want to address really are the economics and the funding of the revolution or evolution rather that should be happening in Plateau State. Am I communicating? Do you see my slides? Are you hearing me? Hello? Are you hearing me?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. All right. So first of all, I want to look at what it would take to get this journey to where it should go. All right. And there are 4 points I want to address in my paper, and that's it. The first one, which I'm happy is happening, for us to get into this journey of making Plateau State the #1 state in Nigeria when it comes to agriculture and make it one of the richest states, is to actually structure the opportunity. We need to structure the opportunity. And normally to do that, you need partners, people who can learn from examples from different places, bring it together and say, okay, this is how to make this value chain work. So I'm happy we have farmers in Plateau State who have been farming potatoes, so we don't need to tell them how to do that. They know how to farm potato. Now, what we need to do is help farmers in Plateau State organize themselves in such a way that they can have access to what is required to take the farming of potato to the next level to create wealth. All right. In ABG Paulus, you have such a partner who is looking at the end-to-end value chain. Before you start farming, there are things that need to happen. Once you start farming, there are things that need to happen. During farming, there are things that need to happen. Once you harvest, there are things that need to happen. And then you talked about the market side. The potato doesn't just end once you've harvested it. It needs to be processed. It needs to be taken care of. It needs to be even exported. So that end-to-end value chain needs to be organized. And I can tick that off because I think with ABG Paulus, with the federal government, with the government of Plateau State, with the local government, you now have a group of partners who are supporting you as potato farmers to put the right structure, the value chain in place. So we can tick that box. Now, the second thing I'm happy is also happening, which is educate potato farmers. Now, I said before you've been farming potatoes, so you know what it is. But now you need to be encouraged to be educated as to what are the new ways of farming potato. How do you create wealth by farming potato? Where do you get support? Where do you get resources? That's the kind of education I mean, not, how do you put potato in the ground? You already know that. Now, I'm happy as well that is part of the structure because the partners in the structure, whether it's the federal government, the state government, the local government, they can help with that education by organizing you into cooperatives, which you already have, give you access to people both locally and internationally who can help you, educate you as to the best practices, the new practices in the potato value chain. So we can tick that because that is already happening. I've seen programs, I've heard presentations which shows that this is already happening. Now we come to the third thing, and this is where I think the problem is. Now you have the structure, you have your cooperatives in place, you know precisely what to do. Now, where is the money to execute this? So I remember in the presentation this morning, a friend from Access Bank said this is a very important sector in the economy, quoted some numbers, and I do agree with that. But for us to get this opportunity and turn it into wealth, investments need to be made. We need to be able to access good seedlings. We need to be able to prepare them. We need the mechanization that we are talking about. Is about bringing money to buy machines, and these machines are not cheap. Okay, they have to be imported. We need to clear them from customs. This is where the challenge is. Now, these machines, for example, Grime, one of our partners, makes these machines. But I mean, Grime is a business and Grime needs to be paid. So this is where we actually have the challenges. How do we fund the opportunity? One way of doing it, of course, is the federal government. There is so much that the government can do. We hear of these billions of naira. Unfortunately, once you convert it into dollars, it becomes single digits. And these machines, they are not very cheap. So you buy one machine before you convert it into naira, it's already in billions, which our local governments, our state governments, and our federal government, we do not have because of what we earn from oil. So this is where I see Africa becoming a partner, and this is what we've been doing with ABG to source for funding opportunities for partners in this whole value chain. Now, there are three areas we've been looking at. One is diaspora direct investments. I know in Nigeria, if you listen to the news, or there's everyone talking about diaspora now, but nobody is telling you that they don't actually know how to access diaspora funds. Now, being a diaspora Nigerian myself, we have challenges to actually get money into the economy. So what we see, of course, everybody is talking about what we remit and all that to help our parents or our families and all that, to pay school fees and eat and all that, yeah? But there are hardly any opportunities to invest where you actually even get some small benefits back. So one of the areas AfriCorp is working on is setting up a diaspora direct investment opportunity. And I can tell you we have identified agriculture, and not just agriculture, we have identified Plateau State as one of the states that would benefit from direct investments from diaspora into the potato value chain. So I think that's good news for you, that Nigerian diaspora, African diaspora is excited to partner with you to invest in your states. So that's the first good news. The second thing, of course, is once we get the ecosystem structured and stabilized, we bring in the first money, we show the first farms, and everything is working fine. Then institutional investors begin to look at the space. They would not come until they see that the whole environment, the ecosystem, the value chain is structured. So we have access to institutional investors, be it pension funds in Europe, in Switzerland, where I'm based, that are looking to invest in Africa, but they would only invest if the opportunity is properly structured and presented to them. So if we do step one, that helps us to structure the whole investment flow. Then we go to step two, where we can then go to these institutional investors and say, look, we have something structured here. Here is a fund that pushes sustainability, that creates jobs, that reduces immigration of young Africans, that reduces food insecurity, that also helps to reduce crime. And that's what they want to finance. But they will not help us structure it until we structure it and bring the opportunity in a nice glossy brochure to their offices in Zurich and wherever, and they can look at it and sign the checks. So we need to do that. That will be the next steps. And the third step, of course, are all the multilateral agencies. You know, if you want to work with AfriExim or Africa Development Bank, these things, they take years. We don't have years. We need to start now. So we do the step one first. And once step one is going on well, we can then look at step two and step three. And this is where Africa, leveraging our international network, our diaspora network, and our contacts to the financial industries in Europe, will be helping out. Now, the final point, of course, is access to international markets. We need to make sure there is food security in Nigeria before we start exporting everything. But at the end of the day, every farmer wants to be paid. So if there is market in Nigeria, we said there is no market in Nigeria, there is also international offtake, especially if we produce what the international market needs. And this is where partners like BRIME come in. They give us the right seeds, we get the right machines, we produce to international standards based on international requirements. And then suddenly we can export and earn foreign currency. And now we're as good as oil. So Plateau State becomes a net contributor to the economy of Nigeria as opposed to, you know, just receiving. So I think that's going to be a good thing. Now, to be able to access the international market, which I put there, we want to make sure that we can evacuate some of the wonderful produce that will be coming out of Plateau State directly without having to run across Nigeria. So the Plateau State has a very nice airport, which we think can be transformed into a cargo airport. And I know ABG has been discussing with Plateau State government, and we hope we find a way to at least, you know, build a nice cargo airport there where we can export your potatoes, even flowers, you know, even fruits, apart from root crops. There are so many things that can be exported. So we need to build a logistic hub in Plateau, a storage hub, and a point of evacuation of this produce. So while you are producing these things, we don't rush them to the market, we prepare them properly, and we have partners that will then offtake some of these things. Once that whole chain is built, it's easy to get funding because people know your product is going to hit the market, and they will be happy to give you money upfront to actually then do the farming once the international offtake is there. Like we say in finance, offtake is capital. So if somebody signs a paper that they will buy your product, people are willing to lend you money on that basis. So as Africa, that's where we come in, working with ABG and the different tiers of government, including NESA, to create that opportunity of funding to make sure that what we now say is the gold opportunity in Plateau State actually goes beyond an opportunity to become a reality. So this is a journey that started today. We're happy to be on board to support you as part of this journey. It's a commercial journey. We're going to make a lot of money together in this, and we are excited about that also with the Nigerian diaspora. So thank you very much. I think I've passed the message that I wanted to pass. We would be there with you to fund this vision. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Henry from Switzerland. Your paper is succinct, very, very educative, defining the way to go. First of all, he talked about structuring the value chain, educating our potato farmers on new ways of farming, that is introducing them to mechanized system of farming instead of their traditional farming practice. And of course, creating an opportunity for the people of Plateau, for the farmers of Plateau, through diaspora funding. Because, gentlemen, we have lots of money in the hands of international organizations that are waiting for us, waiting for our farmers, waiting for the opportunity to be created so that they can come and invest here. They can come and give you loans, give you other opportunities that will help you in your farm and then empower you. And of course, he talked about that institutional investment by multilateral agencies, and of course, creating access to international market. Because we cannot continue to only boil our potato or fry it. We cannot continue that system. We are hoping that from next year, things will change. That's why we need the support of all of you. We can do it together. We can do it together because we've got the international connection, and all of them speaking to us from abroad. And this, the last man that spoke to us is a proud Nigerian who owns a bank in Switzerland. So in other words, they have access to international funding. Okay? And is Mr. Frank Knockman, is his paper ready so that we can quickly take it and then go into our panel of discussion? Or if Zell is ready, we go ahead. Zell, are you ready? Please, the technical crew, communicate to me. We want to round off this, please.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Zell.
Well.
Zell, you are speaking to us from Germany. We want to welcome you. You are speaking to all the stakeholders in root crop and in Nigeria, and our farmers from Plateau are here. Our panel of discussants are here. And then the one to hear you, let's have your presentation, and so that we can quickly move ahead. So Zell, over to you, please. You can turn in your camera. Oh, I'm seeing you. Zell,
yes,
you can go ahead.
Yes. So, hello there. Now it's afternoon, nearly evening. Nice to see you. Nice to be with you.
Can we have silence inside the hall, please? Silence.
I have an old memory from potato from Plateau State. For about 10 years ago, I was in Port Harcourt together with Mr. Okoye, and we was invited to a restaurant, and that was serving rice to some seafood, and the one who invited us, he said, I don't take rice, I take potato. You have potatoes, I said? And he served potatoes, and it was the best potatoes I have been eating. I didn't know you had potatoes by that time in Nigeria, but it was beautiful. So that was the start of all of that. Now I will, can we see, where is it now? Now it had been on the whole day here, so it was, that is not what I wanted to share. My God. I will see where it is now. Oh, my system had gone down here. Open system preferences. So, now I am prepared to start and share for you. Do you see my screen? Do you have my paper there? Everything is. Hello? I hear nothing now.
Ulf, can you hear me, Franz?
Yes?
Nothing to see on the screen. You are to be seen, not your paper.
Well, why can't I say that? I have it shown. I will. It has been on here all the day. I think I have to restart the program here because it had been staying here all the day, so it shut down. I go down and I will be back.
So Zell, can you continue your paper, even if we are not seeing the presentation, but you can be explaining it for us?
Yeah, it can. I can explain it for you, sure. We have what they call process technology, and why do we process? Reason for investing in process technology, yes, it is not to waste the agro products, because if we don't process, they will be wasted. Food security starts. Food security, they start with the soil where everything is growing. That's the most important. Soil is one of the existentially vital resources for humans, animals, and plants. More than 90% of the global food production depends on soil. It provides habitats for soil organisms, purifies and stores waters, filters pollutants, and is most important, terrestrial carbon sink on Earth. Soil are, however, under pressure around the globe. For example, the urbanization and the expanding industries and infrastructure are results of more and more soil sealing. The consequences of climate change include the flooding of coastal areas and growing desertification. The improper use of soil reduces its productive capacity. In addition to this, the growing global population has a rising demand for food, feed, and renewable resources. These developments not only lead to increased competition among farmers for scarce land, they also threaten valuable natural biotops. Therefore, the United Nations goal to achieve a world without hunger by 2030 is directly linked to protecting the soil. Only if we utilize land resources suitably and preserve existing agro-land will we be able to feed the growing population, keep global warming below 2 degrees Celsius, and reduce the loss of biodiversity. This is exactly what was coming by the Global Forum for Food and Agriculture in Berlin. That was the discussions. The potato and root crops, you know it better than me, I will say. Irish potatoes, the sweet potatoes, the cassava, the yam, the cocoyam. What we even say, the potato is an industrial raw material. Potatoes in Nigeria are cultivated mainly by small rural farmers. The value chain can be divided in 3 areas, all used to improve income. You have it, 1, immediate consumption. Second, manufacturing of traditional products contribute greatly towards the conservation of biological diversity and are suitable for small farmers. We have the third, industrial processing. There are still some constraints with limited production, processing, and marketing as one, A, supply a good food quality seed, B, inadequate storage facilities, and poor diseases and pest management, which affect the yield and value addition to the potato crop. This is why requirement for industrial production processing. Fill the gap through efficient process technology and increased utilization of potato as an industrial raw material. Before the potato can be delivered to industrial processing, it all starts at the basis. A good variety of seed to be used by farmers. The use of modern agriculture equipment and to improve the storage facilities. And something that is very often forgotten, but good standards, good quality. Potatoes can in the industrial processing be used for flakes, starch, flour, and chips, and many more varieties. The potato value chain includes the producer, that is you guys, the farmers, processor, the industry, market, that is the wholesalers. You have the researchers, you have the development partners, like with some of the information is coming from FAO, and the government and ministry, as we have Plateau State. This, let us say, increased use of potato as an industrial product. We need, if you look in your stores, when you go to your supermarkets, you see processed food. You have from McCain, a company originating in Canada. The food is processed in Holland, and you have the McCain chips here in your market. It's only one of them. There are many, many. These are things that are imported, but you can do it yourself. That's why industrial processing has to be done. From potato, it's even have a lot of starch in it. And the starch can be used as a separate product for everything. New agriculture technologies come into a modern farming. Innovation is more important in modern agriculture than ever before. The industry as a whole is facing huge challenges, from rising cost of supplies, a shortage of labor, and change in consumer preferences for transparency and suitability. For instance, the market change. You process one product because it's a big demand, and next year the demand is slowing. That's one thing that you have difficult with. In the last 10 years, agriculture technology has been a huge growth in investment. Major technology innovations in this in the space have focused around areas such as indoor vertical farming, automation and robotics, livestock technology, modern greenhouse practices, precision agriculture, and artificial intelligence and blockchain. That are things that's changing. For instance, the vertical farming, it uses about 70% less water than the traditional farming. What is vertical farming? You have it in Nigeria, you have some in the city. There are some areas they have started. I know, I have seen in container they have done farming. That it's where you have less water, you can use it very good. the automation in the farming, the livestock farming technology, modern greenhouses, precision agriculture, and then it's coming more and more to blockchain and artificial intelligence. What technologies are used in the farming? For the agriculture, new technology or sophisticated technologies as robots, the temperature and moisture sensors, aerial images, and GPS. Modern farms and agriculture operations work far differently than those a few decades ago, primarily because of advancement in technology, including sensors, devices, machines, and informing technology. Today's agriculture routinely uses sophisticated technology, as I talked before, and this GPS technology is coming into any kind of mowing machines. Farmer has no longer have to apply water, fertilizer, and pesticides uniformly across the entire field. Instead, they can use the minimum quantity required and target very specific areas or even treat individual plants differently. Benefits include higher crop productivity, decreased use of water, fertilizers, and pesticides, which in turn keeps food prices down, reduces impact on natural ecosystems, less runoff of chemicals into rivers and groundwater, and that means increased workers' safety. Global food security is what you have to reach. And international aid is a part directed to food security, ensuring even nations have the ability to feed its population adequate amounts of nutrition foods. Access to quality nutrition food is a fundament to human existence. Secure access to food can produce wide-ranging positive impacts, including economic growth and job creation, poverty reduction, trade opportunities, increased global security, and stable, improved health and healthcare. Due to circumstances outside of our power, we are not able to present the technology equipment live here on this exhibition. Please take the use of the pamphlets of the European technology we have for potatoes and soil preparations, the pamphlets of Grimme and Pöttinger. I think I will stop there
okay,
for the
Doc.
moment.
Okay,
and
okay.
I thank you very much for taking part.
We thank you too. We thank you, Zell. We thank you for your presentation. Please, what you can do for us, send in the slide to us through email so that we can have access to it. In the meantime, we are going to go into a panel of discussion immediately, and so that you people can have some questions to ask. But meanwhile, Philip wants to talk to you.
I will send it to you.
Hello. An important announcement, please. We are deeply sorry for our inability to provide lunch. We want to crave the indulgence of the farmers and participants. It is not in the character of ABG Polars to go that way. But we had a disappointment with the hotel, so we have taken decision that farmers should please exercise patience. We are going to monetize their lunch for them. We are deeply sorry, please.
Thank you. At this juncture, I want some silence in the hall. Please, I want some silence in the hall so that we can conclude this quickly and go. At this juncture, I want to call on Dr. Bolari. Please, can you come on the stage? He's one of our panelists from Raw Materials. Sorry, please, can you come? Doctor, please come and take your seat. I want to call on Mr. Usman Bello to please come and take your seat. And then Kefas Lucas to please come and take your seat, please. What we look into today, please, can I have another microphone here? Please. Here. Can I have another microphone here? Please, can we appreciate our panelists? I know we are hungry. We have, like Luke did mention, did appeal to you. We had a slight disappointment, but of course we want to take care of it. Please endure with us. We want to discuss on mechanization of potato production in Plateau State. Mechanization of potato production in Plateau State. And of course, processing of potato, which is key. Farmers can only have value for their money if potato is processed into different byproducts. Farmers can only have value for their strength and commitment to farming if the technological tools are there for them to use. So today we have the gentlemen here who are going to give us their own opinion as to how we can go about this. So, Doctor, I want to start from you. Of course, you've been in the root crop sector, I'm sure, for a long while. And, of course, you've been hearing about potato, and at this point, we only farm with hoes. We only farm probably with our shovels and our diggers, and then imagine the amount of strength that we expend, and then imagine the value that we are losing, from not mechanizing the production. Doc, what is your opinion? What do you think should be the way forward?
Thank you so much. Well, for us to mechanize potato farming, there are certain things we need to understand. First and foremost, the potato farmer must take a decision that he or she is not going to remain a subsistent farmer. That is, you are going to scale your production from being a backyard potato farmer to where you can get enough land. Because when we're talking about mechanization, it means you are going to use tractors, you are going to use plowers, you are going to use harrowers, and you cannot use this in a backyard farm system. It meant you must be able to get appreciable size of land, nothing less than 1 hectare of land, so that you can easily utilize this heavy farm machinery. And just like the moderator has said, we have gone beyond the use of hoes and cutlasses in modern day farming. But I will look at mechanization even beyond the use of tractors and harrowers. It's all about modernizing every aspect of our farming business. That is, doing the best agronomic practices, safe utilization of chemicals, using improved seeds or seedlings, as well as ensuring that we have adequate knowledge. And then we should begin to see farming or potato farming as a business. If you don't see it as a business, I can bet you can never mechanize. So whatever we need to do, if we don't have enough land, we can form ourselves into clusters or groups where we can collectively contribute, pool our resources together to hire tractors to do that massive collection of land if we are having a farming business adjoining each other. So we should begin to look at how we can expand our land, at least so that when we bring in this heavy equipment, they can easily plow, harrow, and even plant some of these materials. But doing it on a very small level, there's no way we can mechanize. So the need for us is to see how we can group ourselves into clusters so that we can pool resources and then we can have this mechanized system of farming. The world is going that way, and we cannot remain to be behind. This is my take, Mr. Chairman. I believe we should begin to do and be looking at this way so that we can upscale our productive level. Thank you.
Would you please put your hands together for Doctor for his contribution? Okay, Osman Bello, you've heard what he said. But one of the challenges is how do we even get this mechanized equipment? What do you think, what strategy do you think we should adopt to get this equipment?
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, when we say we want to mechanize potato production, we first must look at the value chain. What stage, what process do we want to use machines? Are we looking at seed? Are we looking at wear potato? Are we looking at storage? Are we looking at harvesting, land preparation, or the marketing process? So we must define whether it is seed or wear potato. Are we going to use it for land preparation? Is it going to be by input for input application? Is it going to be for harvesting? Or is it going to aid us in storing the potato to be harvested? So once these areas are defined, then we can go ahead looking for the machines that will work. Again, when looking for the machines, what capacity of machines are you looking for? Is it small holder farm or large scale farm machines that will do more areas of land? But typically looking at our environment, looking at land holding structures, be my opinion that we start small and started growing it. First, we have machines that can be used at the level of cooperative groups. Then, which in this case, the smallholder farmers can hire it and make use of it. But again, how do we get these machines? As I have been rightly told, this cannot just come from the air. It has to be funded. We must know where the machine is. Then, the process of acquiring it, all this must be followed through either direct financing from financial institutions, or like it has been said, that maybe we should be looking at foreign direct investments through diaspora investment, that is Nigerians abroad who are willing and ever ready to invest into our economy. Are we going to be approaching it from this end, or are we going to say, okay, like institutional investment, we have Bank of Agriculture, we have Bank of Industry. Are we going to face this direction towards sourcing for this equipment, or we look at multilateral agencies that through NGOs, through world bodies, through other organizations like AFDB currently investing? So all these we must know, and before we go on to this, we must be a kind of tailor-made approach to the particular equipment we need. And like I said, it must be targeted to a particular level of value chain. And when you acquire equipment, it is imperative that you don't acquire it for the sake of having it. There must be the know-how at operating the equipment. There must be volume of production that could back up what is going to be produced. Because if you bring on an equipment and you cannot effectively use it in the field or in managing a particular process in the production, then it's of no use. So we must back the technical know-how at every level of activity in the potato value chain to what we are buying. And given our level of activity, we shouldn't go for grandiose equipment, heavy equipment that when a part of it gets broken, if we don't go back outside the country, we can't get it fixed. No, we must be able to buy what should be amenable to be repaired by us locally, or in the long run, to be able to be repaired by us. In the short run, yes, we could get parts that could help us in spare parts maintenance. And given the future look of what should be done in access, because for instance, at the current level, given the nature of land holding, those equipment will not be able to work optimally. So what do we do with land ownership that will enable more people to be able to farm more productively? And as it is, when we are linking mechanization with processing, what is the volume? Because if we have to build the potato industry in Nigeria, the processing aspect must be built so that it can help us generate the demand. And once demand is generated towards the market, then you can look back and produce sustainably to meet production. We should not look at producing without being able to market. We will have glut on our hands. And when there is glut or inadequate market to mop up what you are producing, then the effort will be defeated. Invariably, it implies that we work on the market end, we work at off-taking, we work at enable groups, aggregators, to be able to push potato within the local market into external market, and then aggressively we mop up efforts to locally push production. I think this is my view. Thank you.
Can we appreciate him, please? Okay, Lucas Kefas, you've had their own contribution. What is your own opinion as per how to go about this mechanization? And we are talking about processing as well. So how do you think we should go about them?
Thank you very much, Mr. Charles, and my co-panel of the discussion. As an agronomist, my contribution would be towards agronomic aspects of mechanization. We are all aware in the gap, that is the cultural practices. One of the major operations, or what we are to identify under the gap, number one is the issue of site selection. Once you have a very bad land or soil for potato production, I'm telling you, the issue of mechanization will be a total failure. And we're aware that we are to select a well-drained soil. And when we talk of well-drained soil, that means the soil must be light. The ratio of sand to clay, the sand must be a little bit higher than the clay because of the obvious advantage we are all aware. We don't want the tractor to go and got stuck in a clay soil. Number two, the soil must be deep. Deep in the sense that as we are plowing the land, we are expected that the equipment should go as deep as, let's say, 30 to 40 centimeters. These equipments include the plow, the harrow, the leveler. When I mention leveler, we don't use it mostly in Africa. But when you go to the white man land, you will see their farm. After planting, as the crops are growing, you see it uniform growth. It's because they are using leveler after plowing, after harrowing. Then we now use planter as against the hoe that we are using in Africa or in Nigeria. We need planter, we need ridger, we even need lifter. Everything is mechanized. We need lifter during harvest. You can see the posters from Grammy. I can see a lifter somewhere there, whereby potato is harvested and is being conveyed directly to a tank. The tractor is following it. And within 5 or 10 minutes, you will harvest a very large land during all these operations that I mentioned, right from plowing, harrowing, planting, and even ridging. However, whatever thing we are learning, be it in a workshop, in a seminar like this, we are supposed to go back to our community and see how we are going to utilize this thing that we have learned based on our peculiarity in Africa or in Nigeria. Number one big challenge for mechanization in Nigeria is small land holdings. In the white man land, one person has more than 100 hectares of land, of farmland, not any land, farmland, for you to grow its potato. However, in Nigeria, the average, we are talking about, somebody is saying is 1 hectare. Some places it's even less than 1 hectare. We have seen farmers with less than a hectare of potato farmland. So how can you carry out mechanization? Number two is the issue of this inheritance. If somebody die, a father die, he has 10 children. The only 1 hectare he has, they have to divide it. If they are male children, let me put it that way. You know our problem in Africa. Sometimes we don't give land to the women. So everybody, they will share this 1 hectare among the 10 people. One of them, if he dies, 1/10 of the hectare, if he dies now, that 1/10 of hectare will be shared again among his children. You can see the problem of the small land holding that we have in Africa. So mechanization will be a big challenge. Number three, we have problem of land tenure system, which affects mechanization also. However, it has a lot of advantages if we are going to mechanize or we are going into mechanization of potato in Nigeria, more especially Plateau State. If we are saying that Plateau State produces over 95% of the potato in Nigeria, so it means we have the land, but the land is fragmented. However, for the youth to be encouraged to go into potato production, like what the commissioner mentioned, the minister, and all the our presenters during the opening ceremony. Number one, we are supposed to create employment to the youth, income to the farmer, and to the state and the country at large. So The advantages of mechanization, among others, are number one, it will reduce drudgery. No more using cutlass, no more using hoe, no more using all those small tools that we are using in Africa. Number two, the advantage is that it's faster. It's faster in terms of land coverage when you are carrying out your operations. Unlike when you are using hoe, 2 hours, you will not cover this stage. But if you are using tractor, in 2 hours, you cover a large sum of hectare. And that is the only way that we can encourage our youth to come into potato production or agriculture in general. It will also reduce the youth restiveness in Plateau State. We have a very big challenge. Most of the time, more especially during dry season like this, our youth, they will always go into tin mining because they think that's where they can make money than the potato. Supposing we mechanize our agriculture in Nigeria or in Plateau State in particular, it will go a long way to encourage our youth to go into farming. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you. I think you've made so much valid points there. But I just have one minute question before I let people go in the area of processing. Just one minute. By the way, by the time we finish this session, we are going to give you an opportunity to ask your question. They will just answer. Under 5 minutes will be through, and then let in the last discussions so that we can go here in the next 45 minutes. We are out of here. So, Doc, processing. It's not just about cooking and eating it, just as we do. And it's not about roasting it, but it's about converting it in other useful products. Like we have potato cookies. We even have potato beer now, potato beer. We have potato French fries. By the way, next year we have our partner, Farm 40. They are coming to Plateau State to come and establish a process industry strictly for French fries. By next year, I thought that people should have appreciated me for that wonderful information. So we are going to create employment. We are going to buy off most of the potato from the farmers so that we can process them and then circulate them into the market and even export so that the state government can be making much money from the IGR. But, Doc, I guess you have the answer. Where do we start from?
Thank you so much. Well, this morning, before I left my hotel room, I ate potato chips plus egg, scrambled egg. That was what I took for my breakfast before I came here. You see, there are quite a lot of products we can get from potato. And we all know that potato is highly endowed or rich in vitamin A. And so, some of the challenges we are having, especially those of us that are aging now, is the challenge of eyesight. So the pharmaceutical industry requires potato through the composition of vitamin A that it has. And so just supplying potato to some of these pharmaceutical industries that are producing drugs that are rich in vitamin A, you'll be in business. Secondly, our potato is also rich in zinc and vitamin K. These are things that are useful to boost our immune system. And so you find that as a farmer, what you need to do is add some value. Maybe you peel the potato using peelers and slicers so that you add some value before the thing leaves your farm. You get more money. And then our off-takers, who probably will be the processors. They have the equipment to convert or to convert the potato into other products. We eat the potato chips. You can produce potato chips through a very simple means. You don't have to have a gigantic factory before you can go into processing. Just do it the way you can do it and let it meet the normal specification. You can do the simple products. Frying, my chairman says frying, but if you cannot go beyond frying, why don't you fry and package? Because most times our packaging is not good. If you package your fried potato chips, I'm telling you, you can export. And then you can dry, especially the orange flesh potato. You can even eat it raw. The program we did in Abuja last week by Potato Farmers Association of Nigeria, somebody brought a smoothie. You know, we drink this smoothie. Why can't you do smoothie? It doesn't require heavy equipment. Bottle it properly, pasteurize it, and then you are in the market. Smoothie, I'm sure we know smoothie. You add all kinds of things, add honey, and then you are good to go. You don't have to have this room as your factory. You can do it at the back of in your kitchen, but produce it hygienically, and then go for NAFDAC and obtain the relevant certificate. But then there are simple things you can do with potato, and then you are already a manufacturer. So I appeal to all of us. Let's begin to look at some of these products. You can also produce flour, and I don't know what it takes to produce flour. All you need to do, you can sun dry when you slice your potato, sun dry it, get a grinder, get a sieve, and then you have your flour. And then you package, you can export. So these are some of the areas we need to look at as cottage level business people or at small scale levels. And when we do so, and our products have the required standard, you're already a manufacturer. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doc. Please appreciate Dr. Okay, so Bello, just 1 minute. Processing. In addition to what Doctor has said, what do we need to add?
Thank you. In going towards potato processing, we must ask, do we have enough varieties of seed that could equate us to be able to process potato on the plateau as at now? I wouldn't know what the answer is, whether it's yes or no. But what we are currently doing is to ensure that there is quality seed for farmers and processors to choose from. At SIP, GIZ efforts, we are currently having some varieties that we want to look into that could be able to come into stream eventually when they are released to be able to meet specific needs towards processing. And when you are able to have array of seed varieties that will meet demands in market with respect to French fries, flakes and chips, starch and flour, mashed potato, pando potato, then the varietal requirements can now be cropped. We now look at which machines do we need for processing. Processing in harvesting, processing in the stages of company processing of the different products to be able to come out, and then process handling with respect to the markets, because we also must look at producing specifically to meet a market trend, so that when we produce, we don't have glut or we don't have market products that are rejected by the market. So we must have, given the current environment of science and technology and the internet, in any part of the world, we can search for appropriate machines with appropriate technology to meet the demands of what we need to do in order to meet the specific market needs. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Kefas, please, just 1 minute. What do you need to add so that we can wrap up this very session?
Thank you very much. I will be very snappy. Before you see a processed potato on your table, it must undergo two different processes. Number one, when we talk of processing, I will say kudos to the fruits and veggies on the plateau. What they are doing is that they have added impetus to potato value chain on the plateau. Number one, what they normally do is to do what we call primary processing. They will wash their potato, peel it, slice it, and then package it. The final end users, like the ShopRite, they normally come and buy. They will go and add value to the packaged potato from fruits and veggie to go and produce final end products like the chips, the French fries, been mentioned by my colleagues here, and so many other end products. At the local level, we saw what happened outside here. National Root Crop Research Institute pavilion, a lot of end products, flour, chin-chin, bread. Even in Pokos here, we have some women group that they are producing swallow from potato. So the end products are endless. However, as been mentioned by my colleagues here, for you to go into the various end products, you have to consider a lot of things. Number one, the dry matter content of the potato is very, very vital. So different varieties have different dry matter content for different end use, and also the shape also matters. Somebody mentioned equipment for processing. So it must go with the shape of the potato that we are going to process. So also the flesh color matters. At the end of the day, when you have your end product, it must be appealing to the eye so that it will attract the consumer to go and buy the potato. These are some of the factors that we have to consider for us to go into various end product in potato. And I urge all of us that are seated here, you can either go into the primary processing or you can go into the value addition. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We just need about 2 or 3 questions for them. Does anybody have any question? Otherwise, we'll move ahead. From the floor, do you have question? Does anybody have question for the panelists?
Please put your hand once again for these experts here, because they have given you the courage to ask your questions. Be courageous enough. You have persevered till now, so you can really pour out your questions, what is bothering you.
Hello. All protocols observed. I have heard of other processing, but I have not heard of processing potato into animal feeds. So can it be possible?
Thank you very much. The question is, please put your hand together for this man. This is a very, very important question. Animal feeds. The gentleman here, how many people? 1, 2, another one? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. These are experts. And your young man asked them the question to make you grow as a farmer.
All protocols observed. First of all, I'm a student of Babcock University, Agricultural Economics and Extension 400 level. I want to air my gratitude to the company. I feel this is a giant stride towards achieving sustainable agriculture in Nigeria and Plateau State in particular. But my worries is Basically, what has been said throughout the program today is on mechanization. The basic problem of agriculture in Plateau State, in Nigeria as a whole, is post-harvest losses. And then processing or value chain agriculture will actually solve such problems. I haven't seen an intentional effort towards that aspect, apart from what the panelists have said recently. What are the steps the company is taking towards this aspect?
Yeah, before I take this question to the panelists, Mr. Youngman, go through this thing. This is post-harvest issues. And I think the professor from University of Jos will be able to give you a proper answer when he comes on stage. Thank you very much. So, processing post-harvest animal feed. Please, sir.
Do I say good afternoon? Good night, I don't know. Actually, I'm the coordinator in charge of Bokos local government area. And we have registered a lot of farmers from the very local government that I have just called, the Bokos, and other local governments around. But in a situation like this that we have found ourselves, we being the workers, we know exactly what we transpire. But farmers on their own level, they may not be able to know exactly what is going to happen with this present situation that we have just found ourselves today. My question here is that how are we going to do with the farmers? How are they going to benefit from this very program? Because the committee and the organization is supposed to at least help us to be free with the farmers at their own level. From today, I don't know whether the processing or the processing is going to take place in the whole local governments, or is there anything that the organization is going to do for the farmers in various local governments for them to calm down?
Thank you very much. What are the prospects of this program for farmers?
Yes, all protocols duly observed. In fact, we have a serious problem about the issue of potato normally got rotten. It got rotten normally in the in the wet season. So what are the solutions about the issue of this rotten issue of potatoes? Yes. Secondly, what are the measures that you people should take pertaining the issue of storage facilities in terms of production of the potatoes?
What are the solutions to storage facilities, and what are the solutions to protein? Rotten, that is destruction, that is loss of harvest, the biggest problem for Nigerian farmers. These are cardinal questions, and I think please put your hands together for these people who have persevered till now, and these questions are so relevant that it needs serious answer.
Thank you very much. If I understood this program very well, it's like it's a boost for increasing production and then a preparation for processing by a very big farm or organization that is about to come to Plateau State. But my question is, what plan is on ground to incorporate the small SMEs that have undertaken a lot of research and are working on the processing? Because if a big farm comes now, it means all these ones are likely to die and go into extinction. What program is on ground that these small SMEs will come on board in the processing? Thank you.
Thank you very much. In summary, what can the government or the decision makers do for small-scale farmers? These are cardinal questions, and I can tell you in Germany, where we live, where Ambrose Okoje is living, the farm, or not all farmers are big, but the small farmers put heads together and make a big force. So, these questions, processing, who will take it? Please.
Thank you very much. The first person that asks about livestock feeds is very, very possible, please, Mr. Victor, to have or to produce livestock feeds from potato. However, I don't know whether we have enough for human consumption, but we can use the peel to produce our livestock feeds. But we have to do it with caution. You know this problem of aflatoxin. When you are drying it, you must dry it properly so that this aflatoxin will not affect the feeds and finally the animals. Somebody talked about post-harvest losses. Our discussion on processing is to address post-harvest losses. We have dwelled on it. The second thing that will address post-harvest loss is storage. From time immemorial, the National Root Crop Research Institute Potato Program, KURU, in liaison with the PADP, we constructed 3 diffuse lights in the community, one at Kasa, one at Millet in Mongo, and the other one at Bokos. EU came and also constructed more than 20 diffuse light stores in the 9 local government in Plateau State where potato is produced. So also the potato value chain has produced or constructed diffuse light store in 9 local governments, prototype. All this technology that we are passing to farmers or demonstrating with the farmers in their community is for them to replicate same in their various locations. So by adopting some of this technology, it will really address the problem of post-harvest losses. As mentioned by the commissioner, I don't know, he said the post-harvest losses is over 60%. So you can see it's a very, very big loss to the farmers. One big advantage of processing is that you are going to make more money. Instead of allowing the potato to get a waste on the farm or in the market. Sometimes when you go to or what do you call that place? Bokos market during peak period of harvest, you will cry. Sometimes farmers will come with their potato and they will even like to even leave it there in the market to go back home because the price of potato at that time is not commensurable to what they will take home as a revenue or income. Thank you very much. Let me allow my other colleagues to contribute.
Thank you. The first question was talking about having potato as animal feed. At our current level of potato availability, what we can only focus on is the peel. The actual inner part of potato, we would rather be looking at it in terms of food for human consumption or other products being processed from it to feed the hungry population. While the peels, if we could have a number of processing stations that are engaged into potato processing, we can now be demanding from them aggregation of the peels so that one, we could feed it fresh to animals, especially ruminants, and maybe those who are into piggery, so that they can be consuming it. Alternatively, you can be looking at it being dried. We could have small portable machine where we could dry the peels, grind it, and use it for further food processing. In fact, if it is grinded, it can be further reprocessed as filler to other human food consumption, or directed as part feed components to animal feed, especially ruminants or poultry, if it is grinded properly. Then, with respect to, because with potato, it is quite okay because not much of chemical hazards as the peels. With respect to steps that government is taking to enhance value on potato, part of our gathering today is a step in that direction. Today, we are on the first value chain promotion to enhance potato production. Government is fully aware of her responsibilities, and that is why it has facilitated the process which brought all of us from the plateau to this venue. I do know, or I'm assuming, that the policy makers, some of them are sitting with us, the thinkers in government, they are with us. They will take off from here to do the needful to be able to assist the potato industry, particularly in Plateau and generally in Nigeria. But one strong aspect that I'm looking forward to is to be able to have appropriate guidelines to potato production in Nigeria. And I'm sure NASC is doing a lot in this regard. At the same time, we are looking forward to having potato strategy group, and such strategy formation will eventually help to redefine a lot of practices in potato value chain towards making potato as a valid national crop, so that competent states that have possibility of growing potato in Nigeria can key in, and Plateau can be the base of seed production to be able to feed other states at specific times in the course of the year. We're looking forward to this productive future engagement. Then, this also, when you talk of potato rotting in the field, sincerely speaking, part of the cause of this can come from bacterial wilts. It can come from other diseases like late blight. But the import of this is that farmers must know that repeat usage of a particular land result to some of these problems, because there are build-up of diseases on repeated land use. So you need to start practicing crop rotation, so that a particular unit of land that you plant this year, you try to do crops. For instance, plant legumes, plant crops like cabbage and others on certain specific land. Divide your land. If you have, for instance, 1 hectare, divide it into 4. Plant this year 0.25, plant potato there. The other 3, divide them into where you plant soya beans, where you plant maize, where you plant vegetables, and then you follow a particular sequence of rotation, so that if you have less build-up of diseases, then the rottenness associated with disease build-up can be reduced on your field. Then, with respect to storage, we are also looking at being able to have diverse life storage system that farmers can copy from. We are looking at it as SIP end. But for the long-term solution, can we start looking at solar system in harvesting solar energy to be able to propagate cold storage? in order to be able to keep potato on the plateau. Because if we have to depend on the current power system, which is through electricity generation from the current system that we have, it may be expensive. It may be that we may not be able to set it up at different locations of the core local governments that are producing potato. So maybe ideas can be generated on solar power generation to set up specific cold rooms at designated core potato producing local governments, so that it can be managed like a commercial outfit rather than just government establishment. Then the other one is integrating SMEs. Part of what we are saying is also to help SMEs, and then when there are programs, people should see it more from the time aspect of investment rather than just to shop and go. Thank you.
Thank you so much. They have spoken. I will only talk just on one, and that is post-harvest losses. There are quite a lot of reasons why farmers incur post-harvest. They have losses after harvest. First, you look at the pest. The pest. There are what we call field-to-storage pests, which will follow you. As you are harvesting, the pest will follow you to storage. And so, being a monoculture environment, the pest, it's easy for the pest to move from one potato to another. And so, before you know it, a lot of your potato will have been attacked by the pest. Secondly, we need to practice a very hygienic condition while in storage. Therefore, there must be proper aeration. That is, there must be proper flow of air. We don't just keep these things in a closed volume, in a closed space. So if there is movement of air, it will be easy for some of this, for the potato to start drying and for things to move around. One of the major problems we are having with most agricultural crops is what we call aflatoxin. And this is causing a lot of rejection in the international market of most of our produce, especially those that have quite a lot of water in them. Potato is one commodity that has a lot of water. And if you don't keep a good hygiene in storage, you are ready to invite aflatoxin into your product. So good aeration, clean storage facility, I'm sure the losses will be dramatically reduced. And just like my brother said, if we can go the way of solar, that is in terms of drying, you know, if you have to dry to a point, reduce the quantum of water, I think losses will be reduced. Then of course, you can, it depends on the focus of you going to potato farming. Are you doing it for subsistence farming? Are you doing it for industrial application? If you are doing it for industrial application, why don't you reduce the bulk by processing the thing, slice it into smaller bits, dry it, and then you supply the industry. That way you will have reduced whatever losses that will come by way of high humidity or high amount of moisture in the potato. By the time you slice and dry, I'm telling you, you will reduce the bulk and then you can easily supply. But if you want to sell as bulk to the market, then your storage facility must be well taken care of. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, our panelists. Could you please put our hands together for them? Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Usman Bello. Thank you, Lucas Kefas. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate. Please continue to appreciate them as they go. These are intellectual men and women who have distinguished themselves in these areas we talked about, mechanization and processing. By the way, somebody asked the question, how are we going to be helping the farmers? And of course, we have said this severally, that we are going to engage the farmers in training. We are going to expose you to the latest method that you can get value for your money. And of course, we are equally negotiating for financial assistance from international, from the people in diaspora, which we are going to help some of you. And of course, through us, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture will equally be intervening for you people in one way or the other. And even in settling and other aspects, we know the good work that JIZ is doing, but of course, you know, JIZ cannot be everywhere, so we'll continue to assist you people. Okay, we want to quickly call on the second session. We have kept them for too long. By the way, please thank you for your patience. Please, I understand that food is here, and the ushers will begin to serve those of you that are here. Thank you for your patience. So please, I want to quickly call on Dambaba Anthony of National Crop Institute. And of course, I have my namesake here, Dr. Amadi. Please, can you come to the stage? And I have, you know, she has been my friend. We are disagreeing on some, I'm already seeing her somewhere, but she doesn't want me to announce it quickly. So, Dr. Deshi, please, can you come? I will not call you Prof, because he said I shouldn't call you. And, of course, our brother here, Daniel Lenka, please, could you please come to the stage? Thank you so much. So somebody talk about storage. They are going to discuss two issues. One is storage, the other one is seedling. They are going to examine these aspects in totality, and then I'm sure by the time we are leaving here, we are going to go with more knowledge about the system. Now, Dr. Lenka, I want to start from you. We are talking about storage. Storage. That's what we're talking about. Of the challenges that we have is storage. Lenka, how do we go about storage?
Thank you very much, the moderator. Please permit me to make a very fast passing comment on what is going on, and address the issue that you have mentioned. Firstly, I was in Germany 2013. I was in Germany 2014. I was in Germany 2015. And all of this is because of potato value change in Plateau State. So some of the presentation I'm aware, and I'll just make a quick passing comment. I was in Grimy, and I met with Jean, who was directly in charge of all the machineries that were produced, that have been produced in Germany. I was with Patrick, the for Europe and Africa. So you see, the proposal, I led the team that articulated the proposal to develop this potato value change in Plateau State. So you see that I play a significant role. To me, it's a very serious meeting, because I've been involved and I've contributed significantly in this issue. I want to say that Plateau State is a state for peace and tourism, but let us add that Plateau State is also the home of potato in Nigeria. I think we should add that particular phrase, because we are quite different. So all these machineries that you see, they are really true. Now we are asked to talk on storage, but let me mention something also. I was in attendance of Potato Euro 2014. What is happening now is potato from farm to market. There is machineries that were displayed, which we saw right from the farm. The potato is harvested, it is sorted and graded, it is bagged, and it is sent into trucks and sent directly to people that want it. You see, that is how the world is moving. And so it's a very serious issue. We are trying, but we have to work more. That passing comment is very, very important. There's no time to elaborate, but maybe with close contact, we will share ideas of what actually is happening there. And the storage of potato is very, very important. To begin with, if you have a bad seed, there is no amount of technology or anything you can do to get that potato stored. So to start with the clean, you must start with clean seed. And what we should encourage our farmers and train them is that in whatever you do, you must start with clean seed. And you enter it into the store, you are finished. Then secondly, two factors are very important in storage. One is environment and storage condition, and storage containers and material. If we do not provide the right environment for potato to be stored, then there will be problem. You see, the most important elements is that you must control temperature. You must control relative humidity, which is very, very important. The potatoes are living things, and if you do not manipulate them in the right manner and order, you get your potato destroyed very fast. Why do I say temperature? In temperature, we need potato cool store. That is where we are interested. I think in the earlier presentation, we were told that the storage facilities, 10 tons, or was it 20, were provided. We need them. We need the private investor to come in. Without storage, you cannot do it. Okay. So the cool storage is very, very important because the potato breed, physiological activities are taking place, and if you allow the environment to be hot, they will germinate and start to do a lot of things. So we need cool storage. We need partnership in cool storage. But mark you, let me say something small. We need, to me also, we need a form of DLS. DLS is diffuse light storage structure. This is a technique provided by SIP around 80s, and I think it is useful in many countries, even Kenya. Why is it important at this point? Must we go avoiding it? No, it's possible. Because in Europe, you plant potato once, and for that reason, you have to for not less than 9 good months. But for us, under the plateau condition, you can produce potato 4 times in a year. That is why potato is a very important crop. It's the hunger bridger. It can food security, create job opportunities, and so on. So this cool storage, DLS, can store potato for 3 to 5 months without being spoiled or rotten, as my friend have mentioned here. So alongside, we will need it. The other area is we need pest management. Of recent, a lot of pest problem is being encountered. This is due to climate change and weather environment that has changed. Of recent, we have some strains of lead blight that cause a lot of damages everywhere. So we need pest management. Pest management have many approaches integrated, which we alone cannot be able to do it. We need the chemicals, we need the equipment, we need the disinfectants through partnership with stakeholders who have had experience in those areas. We have to manage pests in the store very well. The most popular one I have seen and known is we have spider mite, we have tuber moth. If you allow tuber moth for just 2 or 3 months, even 6 months, you will come and see all your potato damaged. So we need all these things and to educate our farmers. The other time I said storage containers. Storage containers, we need them also because you can't store potato very well. There are specifications designed that will accommodate and give enough space for it. In Germany and other places, they use netting. We need cooperation, partnership to provide nettings that are strong enough. I don't think we have netting here. The sack we are packing them in now is not the right thing to do. And well, there are others. Let me give space to others, then we continue.
Thank you very much. Doctor, you've heard him, and we are talking about storage. There are new technologies that you can store potato non-stop for 9 months. and they will still remain fresh. So what are the fresh ideas you think you can recommend?
Yeah. Let me begin by appreciating all of us for staying this long and still being attentive. So I will quickly add that if we are talking about storing potato for as long as 9 months, then we must resort to cold storage. And unfortunately, cold storage goes with electricity. And by the time you factor the cost of electricity to the cost of the seed, it takes the seed much higher than what the average farmer will be able to afford. So presently, what we are advocating in terms of storage is to use the diffuse light store, which makes use of the ambient conditions. That's the normal temperature and humidity and light system you have in the environment. So that store allows enough ventilation, allows a relatively constant humidity, and this goes to help the seed to stay in good form for as long as 3 to 4 months. And within that time, most varieties would have broken dormancy and would have been ready for planting with very short and healthy sprouts. And if you plant them that way, you are going to get very meaningful yield. So moving storage up to 9 months will require electricity, which will increase the cost. So until we find way to maintain regular electricity at a very cheap cost, then it will not be a sustainable way to store potato, at least here on the plateau. Thank you.
Thank you, Doc. Of course, you've heard what he said, and we are talking about ideas. First, we have the latest modern way of storage, and of course, we have the traditional way of storage. But you are on thinking, where do you think we should fall in? What the immediate farmers can lay their hands on that will not cost them too much?
Thank you very much. I think a lot has been said concerning the storage. We talk about the diffuse life storage. We also talk about the use of a cold room. And then we are looking at the issue of using solar system. Now, among these three, we can be able to select the one we feel we can be able to afford. On the issue of the cold storage, my colleague has mentioned the problem of electricity. That can be a problem, and I can't recommend that one to the farmers, because it's not everywhere potato is produced that you have adequate electricity supply. Then on the issue of diffuse life store, the other group that just left, we developed some prototype diffuse life store of different sizes, different types. There are some that can be easily adopted by the farmers, of which we demonstrated in the farmers' field. No, those ones are very cheap. You can use just mud blocks, and then use grasses as a cover. Then you have enough ventilation. We have talked about the issue of ventilation as far as storage is concerned. So if the farmers can adopt this system, they can be able to store their potato for at least 4 months. They can store their potato for 4 months. So I will recommend this method to the farmers. Thank you.
The lady in the house, Doctor, you've heard them, and we are talking about innovation in the storage, and the problem, what are the problems or what are the implications of shortage of storage that farmers in Plateau are facing?
Good evening, everyone. A lot has been said right from the last panelist concerning storage. So whatever I'm going to say will be for the sake of emphasis. You know, how long your potato tubers store in the store depends on the quality of what you bring into the store. So if you already have issues in the field or on your farm, you've already noticed signs of wilt or diseases, and you take those sick tubers into your store, they are not going to store. They are going to rot in the store, and you'll just end up having losses. So if you garbage into the storage facility, you will garbage out. So we must be careful with the quality of potato that we take into our store. We should make sure that they are healthy tubers. Now, the next thing I would want to comment on concerning the storage of our potato is the handling of our potato from the field into the store. I know that the common farmer practice is to go and harvest with our bags, and we end up with a lot of mechanical damage on our tubers, which also means that we are not taking good quality potato into our storage. So our farmers should begin to make use of crates right from when they are harvesting in the field, so that these tubers will not be damaged before they are taken into the store for storage. I know that a typical farmer will be thinking about the cost of those crates, but if a farmer will tell himself that I will get a few crates this year or this time, next time I get a few other crates, before you know it, you'll have a good number of crates. So don't wait until you are able to buy 100 crates. You can start with a few crates and then keep adding to the quantity of crates that you have, so that right from the field, the potato tubers are properly handled before they are taken into the store for storage. Dr. Lenka has spoken so much about temperature and relative humidity. And even in the last panelist, doctor talked about the ventilation in your storage. So make sure that the store is properly ventilated. Make sure that the temperature, the windows are opened so that there is proper ventilation, so that you don't have temperature built up in the store. Once the temperature is too high, you're going to have a lot of losses, even in your potato storage. And you know, this temperature in storage affects the quality of your potato, especially if it is seed that you are taking to the field to go and grow. So let's handle our potato properly. Let's handle them with care so that we can take good seed potato into our storage.
We appreciate, Doctor, please. I want us to end this in the next, let me say, in the next 15 minutes, so that most of you can go back home. And I heard that Keke stops by 6 p.m. And so I want us to round up this. But quickly, our panel, one minute, please. Seedling, how do we go about producing seedlings that can be resistant to blight and, of course, of high yielding quality? 1 minute, please.
Thank you very much. Seed is the central issue in potato production because in the structure of cost of production, seed will occupy more than 40, sometimes 40 to 60%. So you are talking about something very easy. I will just quickly mention the highlights of the point. We need seed quality and control system. Potato is very fragile. If you don't have seed quality and control system in place, you may waste a lot of resources and achieve nothing. There's no time to explain, but there must be control. If not, you end up buying without certification and other issues which there's no time to explain. You cannot be able to maintain any good seed for anything. Then the second one is you need rapid multiplication techniques. Rapid multiplication techniques. I think in the morning discussion, tissue culture were being plan one installed in Mango also, we were told here, and that is for tissue culture. One important area in tissue culture is that it cleans diseases that are inherent in a potato. In a potato. And secondly, it is a rapid way of multiplying potato that is of high quality. Another area that is not fully practiced, we call it general really positive and negative selection. In your own potato field, to be able to get better performance, you have to observe these two important concepts. Negative selection, positive selection, there's no time to explain. And secondly, potato is seasonal. I will just run off, sorry. Seasonal in production. That means that for us to be able to maintain seed all around, we have to stagger our own production. Farmers produce those all at the same time. At the end, there's bumper harvest. Prices are low and they do not achieve anything, which is really very bad. You cannot plant potato in Nigeria only once to be able to succeed in seed production. You have to have two interfaces. One is irrigation, second is rainy season production. Rainy season, dry season facilities must be produced to maintain the cycle of a potato in a year. That is why it degenerates very fast. So we need collaboration in this area, quality control system. The legislators should form laws to help us maintain it, stagger production, irrigation facilities, and we have to finally learn to manipulate agronomic practices. If you want to harvest less, you apply more nitrogen and a lot of techniques that can be applied so that we have a continuous flow and cycle and supply chain of potato. Thank you.
Thank you. Round of applause for him, please. Doctor, please.
Yeah, you will notice that this year potato gave very high yields because of low incidence of late blights. So that shows that if we can get in varieties resistant to late blights, it's going to have a very large impact in terms of yield. And we are working as a research institute to develop varieties of potato that are resistant to lead blight. And within a few years, at least before the next 3 years, we are going to release, by God's grace, to the farmers varieties that are going to resist lead blight and quadruple the yield we get from our farms for the same effort we are making now. Thank you.
We are talking about the new system of storage of producing seeds. We have, of course, the hydroponic and we have the aeroponic. Which one do you think is better for us?
Yeah, thank you very much. Both the two systems are very important. But we have others that can even be easily adopted by the farmers, which is the stem cutting. We have stem cutting now. That can also help to have disease-free planting materials. Then we have the TPS. Now this TPS is a technology that we have been trying to pass to the farmers. When you use the TPS, you are using the botanical seed. From there, you can now raise your seed. the seed you are going to get are going to be a little bit free. Not a little, they are going to be free from diseases. So some of these systems are very good, and if well adopted by the farmers, we can be free from planting potato diseases. The other area I would like to talk about is the issue of seed certification. Because if you look at potato, that issue has never been addressed. It is being handled in many other crops, but in the area of potato, it's like the seed council have forgotten. They have not said, they don't do anything as far as seed certification is concerned. It is very, very important and advisable to the farmers to make sure that any seed they are planting is certified seed. That will help in reducing most of the diseases that we face in the field. And then in the area of aeroponics and hydroponics, they are all geared towards getting quality seed for planting. And I can say that here in Nigeria, maybe some few or none of the hydroponic system. So it is encourage any company that will come up with that technology is welcome. Good quality seed will be produced. But for the stem cutting, there are techniques that are very easy, which can be adopted by the farmers. Also, seedlings from the tissue culture can also be undergo stem cutting by subculturing. In that case, if farmers can adopt those methods, definitely we are going to have free planting, free disease planting materials. Also, I can happily say that the National Root Crop Research Institute has gone very far in the area of stem cutting. Yes, they are multiplying seed in collaboration with the CIP. And I believe very soon the issue of seed will be a thing of the past. The seed quality will be improved. And they will also have the quantity required by the farmers, because from our own experience, we found out that it is not only the quality, the quantity of seed required for production is very, very low. So if these methods are adopted, these two problems can be solved. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. So, madam, finally, you've heard them. What do you think about seedling? How do we go about it? Because our farmers are suffering great losses every year. We want to put an end to it.
Okay, the issue of seed potato cannot be overemphasized. So we need, as my colleagues here have said, we need a seed certification system so that when our farmers are going to grow potato, it won't be the normal gambling that is happening. Because at the moment, if you're lucky to get good seed, you'll have good harvest. If you're unlucky and your seed is not good, your harvest will be very poor. And you know, it's a big loss of resources. So we need a good seed certification system. And if you get good seed and you don't handle your seed well in the field, you're still going to have a loss. So I want to again emphasize the issue of crop rotation. The yield of your potato does not depend on how big your farm is. It is how you manage your farm. So instead of a very big farm and then having a low yield, please consider crop rotation, because what you can get on 1/4 of your field when you carry out crop rotation will be far much more than when you keep growing potato on the same farm piece of land over and over again. So we are talking about precision farming, where you should cultivate a small piece of land and have very high tonnage of yield. So please consider crop rotation. It's very important, especially those farmers that have been trained for seed production. You cannot compromise that.
Okay, question time. Question. In the next 10 minutes, we are out of here.
thank you for the opportunity. My intervention is not actually a question, but some contribution. One of the stakeholders asked how they can be assisted by government or by other stakeholders. I just want to use the opportunity to inform us that there are quite a number of strategies that have been taken by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture to assist farmers, especially in the area of seed development. We have National Seed Council of Nigeria. When it comes to seed certification, they have the mandate to ensure that adequate and proper seeds are made available to farmers. Here on the plateau, the ministry has already established, is in the process of accomplishing a tissue culture laboratory in order to ensure that seeds are made available without much effort to the farmers. So the process is on. And then there is also in Pangshin, they have also established a potato processing smallholders, factory. So farmers should be made available and made to be aware of some of this intervention. Then on the issue of ensuring that our products are made available to the international world without rejection. We've had cases whereby if we produce, they are rejected outside. So standards are very important. And standards are to be looked at along the value chain. We have the production, the processing, the marketing, and handling. So if we want our product to be accepted internationally, we should pay much attention to good agricultural practices. Thank you.
Thank you very much. He's very correct. One of the disadvantages we are suffering is that our products are rejected for export. Standardization matters so much. Okay? Ten minutes, we are out of here.
Good evening once again. First of all, I want to air my grievances. I feel the students are not adequately represented here. And then for subsequent programs like this, there should be an avenue for students to come over here. I have to come all over from Ogun State for this program particularly. Secondly, my concern is on preservation. There is no avenue where people that are into research get funding or grants in preservation. Like me, I initiated a preservation method some years back, and based on the prospect of what I have been able to observe, there's a new method that will be coming on board that can preserve Irish potato for up to 3 years industrially. And then lastly, there should be also local methods that local farmers can also adopt to. Based on what the panelists have said also, the most viable method is the use of cold rooms, which is quite expensive. I feel there should be a new method, a local method that will also help the local farmers too.
Okay, let me answer you quickly. Next edition, which is next year, we're going to flood the entire place with students. I'll show you on that.
Okay, thank you very much. My question is on the issues of machines. What effort are we going to make to ensure that our local fabricators are conversant with the new machines that we are planning to bring for sustainability and maintenances? And I want to encourage that our local fabricators, like the Fabricator Association Plateau, should be carried along so that they can be able to maintain these machines for you. Thank you.
Okay, there's no how we are going to introduce new technologies without training people. I want to assure you that that is top on the list. Once we're introducing those technologies, the experts, the European experts that are handling those machines will come here and train us and equally deal with spare parts. So that's where the fabricators will be needed. At the appropriate time, we will engage you guys. Any question from here? Any question?
Thank you. My question is about seed production. I heard one of the resource persons made mention of stem cutting. I know stem cutting is possible in sweet potato. What about Solano potato? Have we discovered that stem cutting is possible there also?
Thank you. Any other question? Okay, no question. All right, so our panelists, who will answer that question for me? Okay.
Thank you very much. Stem cutting is also practiced in potato. Now, the stem cuttings, the sources of the materials can be from tissue culture, or they can be from the field. You can pick any good stem from the field, and then you can cut it into knots, either 2 knots or 3 knots. Then you plant it in a very good substrate. They will germinate, and then they will give you seed. So the seed you are going to get here will be more quality. They will have more. The quality will be better than the one you keep on planting from the field. So by doing so, the first seed you are going to get quality seed, and that one is something that even the farmers can do it. Then the second method of seed cutting is from tissue culture. Now we know that every plant, as you see, has the ability, even from the leaves, to produce a plant of itself. So with that method now, that is the method that is being used in stem cutting. Same thing even in tissue culture. From the leaves, you can get a whole plant. So potato, like any other plant, you can practice a stem cutting. Thank you.
You know, he said if you grow from stem cutting, you're going to get seed. But I have a different experience this year. I carried out stem cutting because I wanted seed. But I had very large tubers that I call them yam potatoes. They were so large that you cannot even grow them as seed. So it is true, farmers, you can grow potato from stem cutting.
Yeah. In addition to that, you can even use the sprouts. The sprout, just remove the sprout, and then you plant it. When you plant it, you are going to get seed. And then even from the mother tuber, plant it again, you are still going to get potato. So, yeah, thank you.
Okay, the last person, please.
Yeah, I think one way the government can come in easily is to provide more dams and watering facilities. I say irrigation facility, but dams are very needed everywhere. You know, a lot of potato pathogens, for instance, bacterial wilt. Bacterial wilt can survive in water for 4 good years from research and information that we have. So most of the problems that destroy our potato is that we use open and surface water that are contaminated by pathogens. If you want to go into a good seed potato production, you must be ready to provide your own clean source of water. I think there should be partnership in those areas. Government can easily come in to help the farmers. Thank you.
All right, could you please put together hands for our panelists? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Gentlemen, we thought that we are going to have rapporteurs who will serve. And of course, the state Ministry of Agriculture was supposed to provide the rapporteurs. But unfortunately, we don't have them. And so, but we have aggregated all the points made. So we are going to develop a communique and send to you people, and of course, make it available to the press. All your opinions will be captured, all your desire will be captured. I want to thank all of you, our panelists, thank you. For you to have, our farmers, our stakeholders, who have stood by us, who have endured to this moment, may God bless you. We thank you very much. For those of you who have come from far and near, may the Lord lead you safely to your destinations, and may God continue to multiply and to bless our efforts in Jesus' name. And of course, I want to equally thank the delegation of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, GIZ, thank you. Everybody that participated here, Government of Plateau to say thank you. Everybody that have played one role or the other. If I don't remember your name, please don't crucify me, forgive me. Thank you. And of course, our representative of our Chairman of Session, thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Bala. We appreciate you. May the Lord lead you home safely. Next. Thank you, everybody. And of course, to the management of the hotel,